Okay, guys, good morning from Brazil. And today we can say good morning. Now it's 11 a.m. in Brazil, and we have only Brazilians here. Even Sherri. Sherri, special guest today. She's from Zimbabwe. I don't know her in person. I knew her first time in our Bible study. We have a Bible study every Saturday, and I met her online, and but it seems like we know each other in person because through our faith we can talk about God, and it's great. And like the I as I always say, like the technology is giving us this opportunity to know people from all over the world. And it's I say that like the technology we can use for good or for bad, like we are using a good way to meet others, to know different cultures. And this program called English Brazil International, that uh, it started with the idea of Simon and English Brazil. It's great for us to learn more English through different accents, because people, uh, each country, we can find different accents. And today, Sherri, I'm impressed with your accent, because you said that your name. Yeah, I cannot say your name. I think it's Sherzad Ismail. I'm not sure, but you said that we can call you Sherri. You said that you are from Zimbabwe, but you have American accent. Your English, it's a it's a really amazing, your English. So now it's your time. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, and now the word is yours. Okay, feel free to talk a lot.
Okay, thank you so much. So once again, thank you for having me and for everyone that's joining us. As Nielsen said, I was born and raised in Zimbabwe. It is our first official language. In total, we have 43 dialects, so other languages that are spoken, but we have 16 that are actually official. So our first is English, and then 16 official dialects. And I speak one of those dialects. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm losing it a little bit. So English really is my first language, and then Portuguese being the second one that I use the most here in Brazil. So I was born and raised in Zimbabwe, right in the south of Africa, very close to South Africa. One of our neighboring countries is Mozambique. I think we also have Zambia and Botswana also very close to us. So we are a landlocked country. We do not have any sea, so we don't have any port. It's just completely landlocked. Zimbabwe was colonized by the British, and we got independence in the 1980s. And we've had one of the longest serving diplomatic presidents. And was over 30 years, if I'm not mistaken. 30, no, wait, almost 43 years. We had the same president. So he was one of the longest serving presidents of his in history. And now we have our second president since 2017. So that's the political background of Zimbabwe. Right. Any questions so far?
Yeah, I'm sharing right now your country, and the first
Yes.
image that I see is this wonderful waterfall. So
Firefox.
I've never been to Africa before. So if I need to go to Africa and visit one of the countries there, would you tell me why should I visit Zimbabwe over other countries? What Zimbabwe has so unique that the other countries don't have in Africa.
All right. So firstly, I'm gonna be 100% honest and say if you do not have courage and resilience, do not travel to Zimbabwe. It's a beautiful country. There's a lot of nature. Like you can see here, we have the Victoria Falls.
Nossa.
It's known as one of the seven natural wonders of the world. It's absolutely breathtaking and it's spectacular. But the sad part about it is that it's not accessible to everyone. It's a
Ah,
very expensive tourist destination. So you would get a lot of people from Zimbabwe that have never actually been there because it's really, really expensive. And the sad part also is that it's going to the Victoria Falls, it's like a different reality to what Zimbabwe actually is. So this is a typical tourist destination outside of this city and this tourist attraction. It's a completely different reality. But it's absolutely beautiful. A lot of nature. God really outdid himself when he made the Victoria Falls. It's beautiful.
Let me share here the there is a part in the on the top of Victoria Falls that is called the Devil's Pool.
Yes.
Let me share this place
goodness.
here, guys, with you. Victoria Falls. Oh, okay. Let me share the screen of the map
Right.
Mm.
Right.
here, guys. Look.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the famous Devil's Pool.
Mm.
So the Devil's Pool is right, as you can see, it's right near the edge of the Victoria Falls. It's a very shallow pool, but you can only go at certain times of the year. Like at this time, I would say it's low tide or when there is not so much rain. When the tide does not move as forceful as it could. So you are allowed to go into the Devil's Pool, and it's not dangerous at all. But you have to go with a guide, and he will advise you if you can go or not. Um, I haven't heard of any casualties from the Devil's Pool, but I've heard of casualties on the opposite side of the
Mm,
gorge where
mhm.
people have thought they could lean over, and because it's very slippery, a lot of people have fallen over and never to be seen again.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, that is a beautiful Devil's Pool. When I went to the Victoria Falls, the tide was too high, so we weren't allowed to go in, unfortunately.
I
But
can
I
imagine.
wouldn't do it
I,
though.
I can imagine the noise there. The noise,
Mhm.
the noise
It's
of the
loud.
water falling, is so loud.
It's really, really loud. And around the falls itself, there is a lot of nature. So you'll see a lot of animals.
Mm.
In nature, they're not in captivity. That's the beautiful part of Victoria Falls, is even though it's a high tourist destination, it the city in itself is inside a reserve, a national
Mm.
reserve, so that you will see the animals in their almost 80% within their natural habitat. And it's really beautiful. And when you're walking near the falls, you have to go with like an umbrella or with a raincoat because you will come out soaking wet. But it's beautiful.
Have you been to Iguazu Falls here in Brazil?
No, not yet.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
yet.
I've been there once. The experience. It's breathtaking. I would say it's
I can
amazing.
imagine.
The first impression that I had when I saw the falls was like I was seeing like a painting.
Wow.
It seemed like not real. So beautiful, so beautiful. Eduardo Gilmer. Okay, Gilmer. Let's go
Uh,
to here.
okay. Uh, Thank you. This for
Okay.
conversation for us. I really like your pronunciation. Do you speak in Portuguese?
Yes, I'm fluent in Portuguese. I'm gonna
Wow.
try very hard to not speak Portuguese because I
Uh,
love Portuguese, but no, I'm fluent in Portuguese. Thank
ah.
you for the compliment.
I think you're is a Brazilian people.
No, I'm not Brazilian. I
Uh,
think my heart is Brazilian.
Yeah.
uh,
Tell us then, why did you move to Brazil?
Right. So I met my a friend online.
uh-huh.
He's now my husband. So we had like an online conversation for about 6 months. And because our conversation, we really wanted to meet in person. So he had an idea of coming to Africa, but I had a dream of coming to Brazil.
Uh-huh.
And he invited me here because I really wanted to know if he was real. So I came to Brazil on holiday, and then he came to Africa on holiday, and then I came
Mm,
back to Brazil, and then he went to Africa, and then we had to decide where we wanted to stay because we really wanted to be, together. And now we decided to come back to Brazil. So we've been here for the past 4 years,
mm,
completely settled down in Brazil, and my kids are here as well. So
mm.
I came because of a mineiro,
Oh,
basically.
okay. Congratulations. Uh, Yeah, curious. Is tourist explorers like in Zimbabwe in, equals Brazil?
So I didn't get the first part of your question.
Tourist,
Tourism.
Oh,
tourism,
tourism. Okay.
tourism.
So no, no.
No.
It's a different reality. Very
Yes.
different. Yeah. I think in Zimbabwe, people just really focus on trying to survive. So there's really
Mm,
no extra money for tourism. And if
mhm,
it is, the tourism is a very different type of tourism. So a lot of people live in the big cities, but they have a farmhouse. So people would
mhm,
actually prefer to go to the farmhouse than to go to, for example, Victoria Falls or Inyanga. Inyanga is another beautiful tourist destination. I'm going to put it
mhm.
here. And this is very close to where I live.
I'm gonna make you the co-host, so you can share your screen to show us also
Okay.
this place. Okay,
All
let's
Okay.
right.
let's make you co-host. Okay, now you can share your screen.
Okay. Let me go ahead. Here we go. All right. So Inyanga. This is Inyanga. And this is very close
Oh.
to where I stay. Let me see if I can get some images. This
Mm,
is it.
it's
Nyanga
beautiful.
Nyanga is a city.
Yeah, Inyanga is it's a city. Let me just try and share another screen. I think this one is not a good one. Let me share this one here. This one.
Mm,
And so this it's a very mountainous area. Like there are a lot of mountains. And if you see this image here where there's the circle, right?
mhm,
It's marked into like cities. So each time you face within one square, you are facing a different city, direct
Mm,
direction of the
great.
city. And there's actually one that has Rio de Janeiro there because I've been there.
Mm,
So if you face in the direction of the square of Rio de Janeiro, it is a direct line to the city of Rio de Janeiro from
yeah.
exactly that point.
it's the city all over the world. A lot of cities
Yes,
in the world.
yes, a lot of the capital cities and the
Capital
major
cities.
cities
The
of
main cities in the world.
yeah.
Uh,
So that's a little this
which
is very
which
close to where I live.
city did you live this one in Zimbabwe? No, which city do?
No, my city is called Mutare. It's the third largest city of Zimbabwe in Mutare. Let me see if I can
Okay,
find it here.
what is the capital of Zimbabwe?
Harare.
Okay, after you
Harare.
share your city, you share
Okay.
was
let me see if I can.
yeah.
Okay, let me share it here. So this is Mutai. This is where I was born. This is my city. It's small when you compare it to
Mm.
the cities in Brazil, but this
Yeah.
is my city.
Do
It's
you
very
do you
small.
have do you happen to know how many people in the city? No.
I'm not too sure. And then this is Harare. This is Harare, the capital. Right, so that's a little bit about
Ah,
my city. Let me
okay.
check the
Hmm.
population of Mutai. So Mutai has in Zimbabwe we have almost 16.7 million people. But in Mutare in itself we have about 220,000.
Ah,
It's
yeah.
small.
Yeah, it's small. Yeah.
It's a pretty small city.
Sherry, in Africa, we see a lot of poor countries, like we see people dying from starvation there in Ethiopia, like for example, and Sudan, the war in Zimbabwe. Can we say that is the same? Like, can you say that Zimbabwe is a poor country like others in Africa?
Yes. The images that people actually see of Africa being poor is very, very real. Of course, you won't see this in the major cities because, well, that's where the concentration of people are. But as you start moving away from the major cities, that's where you will see a lot of poverty. And unfortunately so. It's real. It's real.
Mhm. You said that it's so expensive to travel to Zimbabwe, and what is the main reason of this so high prices there? Like food is it's expensive. What else? Like everything.
Everything, everything. Why Zimbabwe is so expensive? And I think a lot of people think that no, Africa is actually cheap. People have this assumption that actually Africa is cheap. But personally, now that I've lived here in Brazil and I've lived in Africa, it is cheaper to live in Brazil than it is to live in Africa. In Zimbabwe, for example, we do not have our own national currency because of the
Mm,
collapse of the economy. So we have the use of the US dollar. So every single thing is priced in the US dollar. And why it's also so expensive is because we do not have any factories or any production within our
mm,
country. So basically, every single thing needs to be imported from the neighboring countries. So because it's imported, it already comes with these additional costs. So going to Zimbabwe is very, very expensive. It's insane. Like I don't even understand how people actually survive there because the minimum salary is approximately 40 US dollars a month.
wow, 40.
40.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we here in Brazil complain about our minimum
Yes.
wage here.
Yes. Unfortunately so.
Okay, Gilmer, your turn again.
Okay, I have the impression that cities are less development in Africa. Is that true?
So what happened is most of the countries in Africa were colonized, right, by different countries. Portugal, the British, I think France, if I'm not mistaken. So there's different countries that came into Africa, and when colonization came, there was a lot of development. So the basic infrastructure is there, right? The basics are there. But what is happening now is we have this infrastructure from a long time ago, but there's a degradation into the buildings. So there is development, but because there's no maintenance, it looks like the quality of the buildings is actually pretty poor. It's because there's no maintenance at all. But the basic interest, the base is there, but not maintained, unfortunately.
Okay.
Eduardo, do you have any questions or can you not ask any questions right now? Okay, okay,
Hey,
Eduardo, can you ask now?
yes, can you hear me now?
Can you ask now?
Yes.
Do you have any
Hello, can you hear me?
questions to ask?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good morning, teacher. It's my pleasure to be here. Please, I wanna say, I would like to what do you like about Brazil, and what do you miss about your country?
Okay. What I like about Brazil and what I miss about my country. So, there's a lot of similarities between Zimbabwe and Africa. I think the warmth of the people, this is a similarity that I find between Brazil and Africa. People are very welcoming. So this is something I really, really love. First thing and foremost, the people, right? This is something I love about Brazil. What I miss about my country, I miss family, right? Because I here it's just me and my kids and my husband. I don't have any family here. But honestly, it's just family. But now the thing is there is such a high level of people migrating to other parts of the world. My family is currently scattered all over the world. So it's a question I get pretty often, will you go back to Zimbabwe? Honestly, no, because my family is all over, and this is what I miss the most. So if I needed to travel, I would go and visit my family in the other countries and not necessarily Zimbabwe itself, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you for
Thanks, Martin.
Speaking about your family, something came to my mind. Tell us a little bit about your family. How many siblings do you have? And people in like the couples in Zimbabwe, usually they have how many kids? Like it is like the whole soccer team that they have, or it's just a couple of them? And tell us a little bit about
Mhm.
your siblings and if you have mother and daddy, and also the things that you used to do when you were a child.
Right. So, my dad passed away when I was 7 years old. My mom is still alive. She is in Zimbabwe. I have an older brother. He's in South Africa. I have a younger sister, and she is in London. So that's basically
Mhm.
my close family unit. I think what is something also very common about Brazil, family stays together. So my mom stays with her brother, but all the grandchildren have left. So my sister has her kids. She's married in London, and her kids are there. My brother is in South Africa, and his kids are with him, and I am here in Brazil. I
Mhm.
haven't seen my sister and my brother and my sister in over 5 years. No, I think about 6 years. I haven't seen them in person, but we talk often. And my mom, I haven't seen her in 4 years. The unfortunate part with that is we don't know when we will ever see each other in person. One, because of traveling. So traveling is not easy. Like my mom tried to apply for a Brazilian visa twice, and she was rejected,
Mhm.
unfortunately, which is very, like, people don't know this, but it is very, very difficult to get a Brazilian visa for any
Mm,
country. It's really, really hard.
I didn't know
It's
that.
basically, yeah, it's like a
Mhm.
Brazilian trying to get a visa to go to the United States. It is
Okay.
the exact same thing. It's really, really hard to get here. And so
Mhm.
unfortunately, my mom couldn't come. My sister, she's in the process of getting her residency in London, so she can't travel. And my brother is not interested in leaving Africa.
Mhm.
So I have no idea when I'm going to see my family again. But like you mentioned in the beginning, technology is good. So at least we speak to each other, hopefully every single day. In terms of childhood, I went to a government school, which is called a public school here in Brazil. Public school in Africa, in Zimbabwe in particular, is paid. There's no such a thing as free school in my country. Every single thing is paid. So I went to primary school, which is fundamental, and then I went to high school, ensino médio, and then I did a course in tourism. So approximately the first part of school is 7 years. The second part is 4 to 6 years. And then university or college depends on the course that you're doing. In terms of languages, we are taught English, of course, which is our first language. By government obligation, we need to learn Shona, which is our dialect. So we go through this for 7 years. And then when you are in high school, again, by government obligation, you need to learn a third language. And at that time, when I was in school, it was French. So I studied French for 4 years. Absolutely hated French because it was really, really hard to understand, because it was trying to understand the grammar and the base of French is completely different to English. For example, French has masculine and feminine, and in English, there's no such a thing. It's just as it is. So it was very, very hard to logically get my mind around having a masculine and feminine in a language. So that's the interesting part about languages. And because of this, the way that the government curriculum pushed on languages, I think that this is what made it really easy to get to learn Portuguese, because our minds are already open to be multilingual from the time that you go to school. But it's not the same standard that Brazil has in learning English in school. The language level is very, very high in Zimbabwe. So when you leave you leave school, you can go to any French-speaking country, for example, and you would be able to get a job, but you would leave being very, very fluent in the language that you're learning. And in my case, it was French. So that's a little bit about the very, very high educational standard in Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
Very
How
high.
about the families, the number of kids? Usually
Right. So it's varying a lot. I think it's very cultural to have a lot of kids. I myself have 3 kids. This surprises a lot of Brazilians. I don't know
yeah.
why. For me, it's normal. It's very normal to say, "Oh, I have 3 kids." I'm like, "Oh, only?" No, it's pretty normal. My sister has 2. My brother, to be honest, has countless. I don't know how many he has. I
All
don't know.
four.
I don't know, but I suspect that he might have around 5.
Wow.
So my brother was one of those promiscuous men.
A womanizer.
Yes,
Womanizer.
yes. So I don't know all my nephews and nieces. I don't, but I know that he has a lot, and this is normal. This is very normal for Africa. So generally, it starts from a minimum of about 3 children going up. Normal is usually 5. This is normal. Like if
Normal.
you have 5 kids, it's not considered a lot. Having if you have 1 kid, then something's wrong, you know. Um, so but Patricia,
Mhm.
sorry, Nilsson, could you just
Patrícia,
explain to her on the CC,
ok.
on the
Patrícia,
caption?
eu vou falar em português com você, tá? Tem um CC, Close Caption, perto da mãozinha e um ícone. Você clica lá e aí vai automaticamente aparecendo em português, tá bom? E bem-vindo, tá? Se você tiver alguma questão, pode fazer. Não tem problema de fazer em português, tá? Aí eu mudo para inglês
Obrigada.
por você. Eu mudo em inglês para você, tá bom? Você pode fazer em português, uma pergunta para ela, eu mudo para inglês, para aqueles que não entendem português, tá bom?
Tá certo, obrigada.
Nada.
Bom dia a todos.
Bom
Bom
dia.
dia, Patrícia.
Hey,
Good morning.
Patricia. Good morning.
Gilmar,
So yeah,
again.
as I was saying, it's
Okay.
1. Yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
Given the beautiful on display, I think Africa has great for tourists. What do you like most about Brazil?
Right. So in terms of tourism, I really like the warm weather. I get a little sad when it's cold. I kind of complain with God. I'm like, God, I didn't come to Brazil for the cold. I came for the heat. Why is this happening? But I think it's pretty normal. And my body actually reacts, like I actually have a physical reaction to the cold. But the weather is amazing here. A lot of people don't know that Africa is pretty cold. Right? It's really, really cold. Like I think the coldest that I've personally felt in Africa was -3. And in some areas, there is actually snow. So it does snow in Africa, especially down in the south, a bit more closer to, I think, in the Cape area, South Africa, and a little bit in my region as well. So it's really cold. But in terms of tourism here in Brazil, I think the beaches, absolutely amazing. And one thing that I think is underestimated is the culinary. Right? The food here is absolutely amazing. Like I feel like I came to paradise on earth when it comes to food.
Yes, thank you.
It is good.
Did you
Pleasure.
did you ever go to a beach in Africa?
Yes, my late father was from Mozambique. So we would go and sometimes visit his family in Mozambique in the city of Beira. It's on the coast of Mozambique. Well, another very poor city, but the water was almost brownish gray. It's not a good beach. But then we also had Vilanculos, which is also in I'm going to see if I can find it here. Vilanculos. Vilanculos. In Mozambique. So if I can find it here. Let me share my screen. So this is also one of the areas. It's very beautiful as well. But again, the thing about tourism in many parts of Africa is it's expensive. So it's not common for you to find people that will travel to these areas. You will find, but it's expensive.
You said that you like Brazilian food. So let's talk about African food now.
Right.
What is the dishes that you guys have in Zimbabwe? What is your favorite dish in Zimbabwe? And tell us the dish that you can find only in Africa and we cannot find here.
All right. So in Zimbabwe in itself, we do not have a very rich culinary experience. Our main spice or main condiment is salt, right? That's it. Why? Because of the high level of poverty. Again, people are just trying to eat to stay alive. We don't have these luxuries. So something that a food that what we call the staple diet is sadza. Again, I'm going to try and just find it here. I'm just going to my images. So sadza is kind of like the angu that we have here in Brazil. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so this is our sadza or angu. It's exactly the same thing, but the flour is white. So the maize that is used, the corn, is a white corn. It's exactly the same, but just it's a white color, and it's made the exact same way. So this is the main food, and that's a typical dish that was made with vegetables, which is like the couve. And so it's just basically exactly the same way that we have with the feijoada. The vegetables are made the same way. We have the sadza on the side, and then any other meat that is fried. So we have chicken is just fried in oil and salt. So this is your very basic meal and one of the cheapest things that you can eat in Zimbabwe. And just salt, nothing else.
What was this your favorite food or not? It was not your
This
favorite.
is good. This is
Okay.
good. But the thing is, I make it here in Brazil, of course, with the yellow flour. It's not the same because, well, yeah, it's not in Africa, right? I'm eating it here in Brazil. But this is the basic. It's good. Very plain, very, very plain meal.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. Gilmer?
Is there Shima equals Mozambique?
It's the same thing. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. What they call Shima and Sadza, it's exactly the same. But the Shima, the flour is a little bit more fine. It's more refined and the quality is a bit better. So,
Mm,
but it's the same thing. And but in Mozambique, they don't eat as much Sadza or Shima as much as Zimbabwe because they have more rice because of the Arab influence in Mozambique.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about our in terms of food.
Culinary.
Yeah.
Patricia, do you have any questions? Eduardo? Eduardo,
Eu
now,
quero
no.
perguntar o seguinte, lá no
Mhm.
Zimbábue, como que é a questão da aceitação da Bíblia lá? Porque
Ah,
em alguns
uh-huh.
países
Yeah.
as pessoas são perseguidas, né?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, great question. Um, Patricia is asking about the persecution with the people who follow the Bible, Christians, most of them Christians, and also answer us what is the tell us a little bit what is the main religion there in Zimbabwe, and if there is this persecution, uh,
Yeah.
those who are Christians there.
Right. So officially the main religion is Christianity. But what we have in, I think this is common all over the world, but in Zimbabwe, in Africa in particular, we have what is called like a syncretism. So you have the main
Tinha um
religion, which
linguistinha,
is Christianity,
né? Tinha uma
but
linguistinha.
it's mixed with other beliefs, you know. So like they have the main Christians, but it's mixed with maybe an African traditional religion as well, where you find people believing in Jesus, but then still practicing witchcraft, for example. This is very, very common that happens. But in Zimbabwe, we have the main religion being Christianity, then followed closely by the African traditional religion, which is the belief in kind of like Umbanda mixed with Candomblé. Then we also have Islam, which is the second biggest religion, and this is growing at an insane rate. So we have Islam, and then the third one being Hinduism. So these are the main ones. These are the four main ones that we have in Zimbabwe. In terms of persecution, people are not openly persecuted. It's a very free nation. You can practice as much as or whatever religion you want. It's not like our neighboring country in Mozambique, where people are unfortunately persecuted for being Christians. In Zimbabwe, safely, we don't have that stress.
Now you say in Portuguese to Patricia, please. Let's listen your Portuguese now, Sherri.
Alright, so, então, Patrícia, temos o cristianismo sendo a primeira, né? Mas não tem um alto nível de perseguição como tem em Moçambique, né? Moçambique tem os cristãos que estão lá, mas infelizmente tem, já não estou a lembrar o nome daquele grupo terrorista que está lá, não é? Acho que é ISIS, não lembro, mas acho que é. Infelizmente, pessoas estão a morrer por causa de Cristo. Mas é mais do norte. O Zimbábue não é tão afetado. Em termos das religiões do meu país, principalmente é o Zimbábue, mas também temos o sincretismo, né? Onde as pessoas acreditam em Jesus, mas dão uma ajuda a Jesus também, fazendo aquelas magias negras. Então, isso é muito comum, que pessoas falam abertamente que são cristãs, mas atrás das portas fechadas, eles estão aí mexendo com a magia negra. Isso é muito normal, muito normal. Até na minha família isso não escapa. Então, primeiro tem o cristianismo, segundo tem as religiões africanas, como o candomblé, a terceira seria islamismo, de onde é que eu saí, né, e era islã, eu era muçulmana, agora eu sou cristã, e o terceiro sendo o hinduísmo. Esse é o quarto que nós temos aí. Então, basicamente, é isso aí. Mas não temos o alto nível de perseguição.
Hum.
I hope I spoke well.
Yeah, this is why your name, because you have like
Yes.
Muslim background.
Yes, yes.
Ah,
My whole family is Muslim. I was born and raised in as a Muslim. I've lived it all my life, but I'm the first of generations to have left this Islamic tradition to be Christian.
I can say that like the religion there in Zimbabwe is like here in Bahia, for example, because in Bahia we see a lot of people that came from Africa. This is why we have this mix with Christians together with the African religion. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
South Africa.
yeah. Now another question about the fauna there, animals. Okay, we see a lot of animals in Africa. Can we find like elephants, lions there, leopards, and what kind of animal we can find in Zimbabwe?
So in Zimbabwe, we are very high when it comes to the animal conservation. So you can find the big five, especially in Victoria Falls. You will be able to see all of the big five. So we have the elephants, the lions, the buffalo, I think the hippo. I can't remember the third one, the fifth one. So you will find it. But the beautiful thing about going to Victoria Falls in itself, like I mentioned, it is a city that is inside a national reserve. So you will find animals walking around normally. So you can be walking in the city, driving your car, and you can see an elephant walking around as well. This is very, very normal to see the animals walking in their habitat. So, and another thing, other than the high level of nature preservation, we have what we in the African traditional religion, we have what we call the mitupo, which means that animals are considered to have special powers and connection to the natural world. So that is why the animals in Zimbabwe are taken care of almost in a godly way, because these animals are considered to be sacred. So it's not in Zimbabwe, it's not only a matter of, oh, let's look after wildlife. It's actually a case of something spiritual. So looking after the animals is a spiritual experience. And then tribes are divided into groups, and these groups are identified by an animal. So for example, a totem. This is a typical example of a totem. And if a group of people believes in a certain totem, they are not allowed to harm that animal. They are not allowed to eat that animal. They have to look after it almost like an extension of a family member. So that's why the high level of animal conservation in Zimbabwe.
What is a totem?
A totem is a belief of that a certain animal is your protection. Like almost, if I can explain it, like how the Catholics have a saint. So if they pray anything to their saint, they believe that there is an intercession
Intercessor, yeah.
between the saint and God. So this is what in African traditional religion, they believe that there is an animal that is representing them in the spiritual world to God, not the God we believe in, but in the African God. So this animal is an intercession between spiritual levels.
A totem is like that, like a statue that we can find a lot of animals over each one. Okay.
Yes.
Sherri, something that I've noticed, and if
Mhm.
we had time, we would spend like the whole day here because I'm so curious. I don't have any
Sure.
questions that I had before, but as we are talking, questions
Mhm.
is starting getting to my mind. I
Great.
told I told at the beginning that you had an American accent, but now listening to you, I realized that is not American at all. Like you have
No.
a European accent. Yeah,
Yes.
now I know because I was not listening to you like for a long time like today. Another thing about your Portuguese accent. Great,
Mhm.
you have like a Portuguese from Portugal, and tell us
Oh, okay.
how did you learn Portuguese? Because you have not a Brazilian accent. You have a
Right.
don't you agree, Gilmer? Don't you agree that she has a Portuguese from Portugal, not from Brazil? Her accent is different.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
she speaks like a Portuguese from Portugal. And
yes.
tell us where and how did you learn Portuguese?
Right. So in terms of firstly, like you said, my English is more British because
Yeah,
that was the countries that we were colonized by. So a lot of our teachers when we were in school were actually teachers directly from England that taught us. So that was more of the system that we lived in. Now it's a little bit changed. So the accent has kind of changed a little bit if you go to Zimbabwe today. When it comes to Portuguese, like I mentioned, I learned Portuguese here in Brazil. But before I moved to Brazil, I tried to consume as much content as I could. And I didn't know when I was learning that there's a difference between Portugal Portuguese and Brazilian Portuguese in terms of accent and vocabulary. I didn't know this. All I did was to consume as much as I could. I tried to do the novellas. I went on to different apps. But at the time that I learned Portuguese, there were not as many Brazilian places to learn Portuguese. Like, for example, with Duolingo, where I tried to learn a bit. Brazilian Portuguese came very recently. So when I started learning Portuguese, there was still no Brazilian Portuguese. It was just Portugal Portuguese. So I learned as much as I could and I mixed it. So if you hear in my accent, I think it's a mixture of living here in the past 4 years, mixed with a little bit that came out in the beginning. In terms of Portuguese, I didn't learn Portuguese in a traditional way, like doing lessons and stuff. It was just complete by immersion. I just listened to a lot of music. I watched a lot of novella and just consumed as much content as possible. But in terms of the like actual classes and grammar rules, I don't know anything related to grammar. And I feel a little dumb because my kids are in school here in Brazil and they come and ask me questions related to the Portuguese subject. I know nothing. I can speak it, I can read it, I can't write it as well as I could, and I can't explain it. So they actually think it's a little strange. So that's my journey with languages.
But you don't need to know grammar, you know.
No,
All you need to do is to speak. And when we are speaking, we are
exactly,
using grammar. Okay.
exactly.
And so then this journey in like you can consider yourself like a self-taught educated in speaking
Yes,
about like Portuguese language. Congratulations. Congratulations.
thank you.
And but do you teach English here in Brazil?
So when I did move to Brazil, I taught for about 3 years. No, yeah, for 3 years. I was a teacher. I taught at I think four different schools here in Brazil, and then I left because I felt a little confined within a limit of the system that the schools would give me, and then I started to teach private. But when I taught private, I still felt very limited to teach private. But then I felt like God was calling me into a different direction. And then I left with the private students. And now at the moment, I've completely stopped teaching and into missionary work. So it's just speaking the word of God right now. Even though there's been a lot of opportunities to teach in English, I feel that it's not where I should be right now.
So today you are working as a missionary.
Yeah, just
Ah,
speaking about God. That's all.
ah, great. Gilmer?
When you started studying Portuguese, did you think that Portuguese in Portugal would be the same as in Brazil?
Yes, I thought it was the same. I thought it was exactly the same thing until I moved here and I saw it's really, really different. And now
Yes.
when I like now after living here for 4 years and I hear a Portuguese speaker, it's a little hard to understand.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little hard, but I understand because I understand from both sides, but it's still a little hard.
Yes.
Yeah, we Brazilians, we say that Portuguese is one of the hardest languages to be learned. So as you is one of the ones who learned English, tell us, it's really hard to learn Portuguese, or it's not like we say that it's hard to learn.
I don't think it's hard to learn. I think I understand when someone says Portuguese is hard. Or when they say English is hard. But I felt that Portuguese was not hard at all. I think just what made it easy for me was just to consume as much content as I could and not to stress myself with understanding everything. This is what I felt like. If I get the main message or the context of whatever I'm watching or listening or reading, that is all that matters. It's the context. And the more that I did this, the easier it became to actually learn Portuguese. So no, it was not hard. It was pretty simple. Pretty
I
simple.
think we say when we are talking about the grammar rules, okay, we have a lot
Yeah.
of grammar rules. I think if we think that about grammar rules, I can agree that a Portuguese language is one of the hardest to learn. But we are not talking about the grammar, as I told you. The main thing here is to talk, not to learn grammar.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay, Gilmer.
Patricia, it is very fun understand language, speak, listening English. Ou seja, é muito divertido ouvir todos aqui falando em inglês e a gente tentando entender. É muito gostoso, mas essa iniciativa de estar aqui junto que vai fazer você ter essa proficiência e entender aos poucos. E no final de tudo, você vai conseguir aprender e se divertir também. Eu entendo razoavelmente bem também, só para você se sentir confortável, né? E me divirto com o processo, né? Quando eu vi a primeira vez a Sherazade em um outro evento, foi muito divertido e continua sendo muito divertido.
É
Thank
isso
you
aí.
so much.
Thank you. Great. Any more questions? Patrícia, do you have another question? Você tem outra pergunta em português, Patrícia, que quer fazer?
Com relação aos pais, não já deve ter falado, porque eu não entendi, mas os pais também, seus pais também são evangélicos? Sherri.
She asked if your parents also are evangelicals or Christians.
No. My mom is Muslim. So my whole family, my grandparents, my brother, my sister, everyone, every single person in my family is Muslim. So I'm the only Christian in generations, right? I'm the only one that broke the mold, right? Falando em português, eu sou a única de gerações que quebrou a tradição de ser muçulmana. Então, a minha família não tem nenhuma cristã. Eu sou a única. E agora, meus filhos.
Great.
Ai, que bom.
Gilmar?
Não, eu só ia falar que eu quero agradecer aqui esse momento. E mais uma vez, Sherazade, eu acho o seu sotaque e a sua forma de falar muito bonito, acho muito legal, gosto bastante. E é isso.
Obrigada. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, we we are in time to finish. Okay, I'd like to
Okay.
say thank you for Gilmer, Patrice, and also Anton. Now he left; he's having a problem with his connection. And for you, Sherry, for giving us more knowledge about your country, for sharing with us your life, your experience here in Brazil. Now that you are a Brazilian. And then I'd like to say to you, like, welcome to Brazil, and you know that we Brazilian, we are so welcoming people. Okay, and thank you for spending a little bit of your time with us. Okay, I really appreciate it. Okay.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It's always an honor to speak about Zimbabwe. You know, it's my home. Unfortunately, it's not in the best state that it could be. You know, it's a very poor country with a lot of potential, but unfortunately in a degrading state. So having to honor my roots it's honoring who I am, you know. A lot of people tell me, you know, like here in Brazil, if you kind of lie and say that you are from a different country, you will have more opportunities. Like people are like, why don't you just say you're American? I'm not. Oh, well, why don't you change your accent to say you're British? I'm not. Right. So I'm very, very proudly Zimbabwean. As you can see, my flag, a minha bandeira, fica aí atrás. Eu nunca tiro ela. And I'm very, very proudly Zimbabwean. Like, there's nothing that can take me away from the gratitude that Zimbabwe has shaped me into the person that I've become. And I feel that this is something that I miss here in Brazil. You know, I get a little sad when Brazilians talk bad about their own country. I'm like, wait, you guys are in an amazing place. Like, Brazil is absolutely amazing. But thank you so much for the opportunity. I was really, really excited when you said, speak about your country. I was like, 1 hour is little. I have
Yeah.
so much to say.
Oh, okay,
But thank
okay.
you.
I,
Thank you
I
so
just
much.
remembered something before. Let's finish our session here with
All
you
right.
sharing that instrument that you said, that musical
Yes.
instrument with that song. Let's finish with this song. Okay, so could you
Yes.
share with could you share a video with this song with this instrument?
Yeah, let me try and see if I could find it. The Mira instrument. Let me see if I could find a video of it playing. Okay, so this is the Mira. I'm just gonna forward it a little
Of the
bit.
mellophone, or thumb piano, which is played by plucking metal prongs or tines, causing them to vibrate at a certain pitch. These tines are connected to a soundboard called a guariva. An mbira will usually, but not always, be placed within a sound chamber, or deze as it's known in Shona, to amplify the sound. Finally, and some would say most importantly, a Shona mbira will make a buzzing noise upon being played due to the majaka. These are objects such as shells, bottle caps, or small pieces of metal that are loosely attached to the deze. These objects gently rattle against the deze as the tines vibrate, adding depth to the sound. Shona Mbira music consists of cyclical patterns of intertwined melodies, often in contrasting and syncopated rhythms. Similar to jazz, most Mbira performances are unique as
Mambira
they
is
allow for
the pronunciation.
improvisation. The
Mambira.
music is most often considered
Mira.
in terms of Shona religious ceremonies and rituals, but the Mbira has more recently become associated with various forms of secular pop.
Yeah, so that's it. The mbira, this is an instrument that was actually made in my country. They kind of put it together there, and it's made with mainly things that are lying around. So the shell, for example, is actually a shell from a fruit from one of the trees that we have. So the shell, the fruit is dried and the inside is taken out, and then they put in some wood and then just metal pieces that are put on as well, and then bottle caps are put at the bottom to rest the palms onto the
Mhm.
top, and then the just the top part is plucked. I have one, but it's somewhere in my house. I can't remember where it is, but I do have one. And the beer, it's not easy. You have to have really strong thumbs to make that sound work. So we have that beta, and then that's the small one, the handheld one. And then we have another one which is much bigger, and the sound is absolutely beautiful. So it's a bigger meter, and it's played with like it's like a piano, but it's human size. It's huge,
Wow.
but it's absolutely beautiful.
It's
The
really,
sound
really,
is,
really beautiful, amazing the sound.
yeah, the sound is
So
absolutely
Africans,
beautiful. It's very
so
African.
African, really
It's
African.
very
So,
African.
okay, thank you for sharing, Sherry. Thank you for
Thank
sharing, Sherry. And we had this opportunity to have a post credit because I had said to you guys that we are finished and we have this post credit video with this instrument. Okay, guys. I hope
Right,
you all
right.
have a wonderful Saturday, a blessed
Thank you so
Saturday.
much.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. And that's
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you
Off
for
you.
spending your time. Bye bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.
Tchau,
Bye.
tchau.
Ciao.